Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and today I'm going to show you another card that we made at card class last weekend using the Valentine, and I say it with air quotes, set meant to be. We're not using the stamp set on this, but it has coordinating dies. So this is the stamp set. Excuse me, tongue-tied there. This is the stamp set, and this is the coordinating framelits. And the framelits have a boatload of hearts to go with a lot of the stamps. So you have your typical shaped ones, and then you have these long, narrow ones. You have them scalloped and stitched and plain and whatnot. We're going to use the smallest of the narrow hearts. Then the die set also has a sheet of other stamps. You have this intricate heart. You have a couple borders, rows, some, I think it's greenery. That's what I've used it as. And then it has this border piece, this edge piece, and that's what we're going to use as well. So, as you can see, this is not a Valentine's Day card. This is a card that would be good for someone who's bought a new home, moving into a new apartment, moving off to school, or anything else. Just a little hello now that we're all stuck in our own homes and we miss each other. This is from my house to yours. Hi, how are you? I miss you. So this card can be used for quite a few things. And although I have congratulations on it, you can use a lot of different sentiments. So let's get started with the card. This is, once you get all your little pieces cut, it's just a matter of putting it all together. So our base is Cajun Craze because I think it looks so much like brick. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of Pretty Peacock, which is cut 4 by 3 3/8, and a piece of white. This is Whisper White, which has been discontinued. It's been replaced with Basic White, which I don't have, but I understand that it is just a tad bit brighter than the Whisper White, in that it has the same texture, the same thickness, and pretty much the exact same as Whisper White. Then we have some scraps. Cajun Craze, it's 1.5 by 1.5. Basic Black, 1.5 by 1.5. Gracious. Garden Green, excuse me. It's probably about 4 inches. We don't need the whole thing. We're just going to cut a little piece. And then I have a scrap of Old Olive. I'm sorry. Yes, Old Olive. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build up to this part, okay? So we're going to put some adhesive on the back of our Pretty Peacock. And we're going to put this lengthwise. So it was cut at 4 by 3 3/8. So we're going to put the 4-inch side along the top of the card. And I put it right in the middle here for an original card, but for this one here that we made in class, I pushed it off to the side, and I think I like that one better, so that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to push it over to the right-hand side, and I'm just wanting to make sure that this border and this border are about the same size. Okay. Then I'm going to take my white and map that. And it's a tiny little border. Okay, and I'm going to put that aside because now I have to do all of my other stuff. To make the brick house, I have this 1.5 by 1.5 piece of Cajun Craze. And you can see here that it's embossed using the, I think it's called brick and mortar. Oh, here it is right here. the brick and mortar embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. However, it also has a heart die cut out of it. Before you emboss it, if you're embossing and die cutting the same piece of paper, you have to die cut before you emboss. If you do it the other way around and you emboss and then you die cut, when you run this through to die cut, it's going to squish all of your embossing, and your embossing is going to be gone. So I am going to bring in my brand new mini cut and emboss. I just got this the other day, and yesterday the video I posted yesterday was the machine's maiden voyage. So I'm going to put my sandwich together. I have plate number 1. Oh, there it is. Plate number 2. And then I'm going to put my 1.5 by 1.5 piece of Cajun craze down. And I'm going to take that narrow, make sure that you can see this. I'm going to take that narrow heart and I'm going to place it right in the middle of my brick here, my Cajun craze. And then I'm going to put another sheet, and the other plate 2 over it. And I'm going to run it through. Oh, I moved it. Let me just make this the other way. I've already started die cutting on that one. I want to just save my plate. All right, so I'm going to put that right there in the middle. They do sell a magnetic plate, but I didn't get that yet. All in due time, right? I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to push it through. And what I do like about this little mini machine is that it folds up, and I can store it nice and compactly, because you know we have lots of stuff. All right, and there is my heart. Now I have this, I can save this for another card. So now I'm going to bring up my Big Shot. I haven't gotten the large cut and emboss machine, the new one. I'm still using my old one. And I'm going to take this now and I'm going to run it through the brick and mortar embossing folder. Now I want to be mindful of the way that I place it, because I want my bricks to be going horizontally. And as always, you want to be sure when you're using an embossing folder that the folded edge goes through the machine first. So there's the Big Shot platform, the embossing folder with my paper in it, and the blue plate. And I'm going to run that through. There we go. And now my little piece of Cajun craze looks like a brick house. Now I'm not done embossing yet. So I'm going to take my 1.5 by 1.5 piece of basic black, and I'm going to emboss that using the subtle dynamic folder. All right, this one is also a thick one. And again, I want to put this through at a diagonal because I want the subtle impression to look like the tar on a roof. Okay, so I'm gonna run that, put that right there. And for this one, I'm gonna use one plate. I'm gonna go through. Get rid of all my plates here. I might just have an avalanche at any moment. And here is my square. Now I'm going to bring in a pair of snips, and I'm just going to cut this. Now remember, I want these to go horizontally because that's how my roof is going to go. So I'm going to go from this corner to this corner And there's my roof. And I'll save that one for another card, just like this one. So here's my card. Now I'm going to attach my little house. I'm going to put a little bit of my snail, well, excuse me, Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to place my house up a bit because I do have to make some room for my grass. All right, so there it goes. And now I'm going to attach my roof. And I really do think that that subtle impression looks like a tar roof. I just think that's adorable. And I'm going to center that over my house. Okay, so far so good? All right. Now, I have the long piece of garden green, and I'm going to use this stitched edge. And I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. Now, this piece here is about 1/4 of an inch thick, so you can do it one of two ways. You can pre-cut this green to be 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch or whatnot, or you can run it through your machine first and then decide how you want to cut it, and that's how I'm going to do it. All right, so I'm going to bring in my little guy again. And we're plate number 1, plate number 2. I'm going to put down my green, and I'm going to place this nice and straight along the top. I think I really am going to invest in that magnetic plate. I really like my magnetic plate when I'm doing die cutting. And then I'm going to put my second plate number 2, and then I'm going to run it through my machine. Now I'm going to cut this, take this part off, and here's what I'm left with. Now obviously I don't need this whole thing, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to decide how tall I want my grass to be. And I'm going to make it about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. And I'm going to slice. And there is my grass. Okay, we're almost done. Now I'm going to take my my old olive, and I'm going to use the sprig punch, and I'm just going to punch that out. I was looking for something that would look like a tree because I wanted to have a little tree on my property. So I'm going to take that, and with a little bit of a glue pen, bring in my silicone pad, I'm going to put some glue on all my leaves. And I'm going to attach my tree right next to my house. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to attach, well, for now, is my grass. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive, and I want this to, on this one here where I put the card in the front in the middle, I have it on equal sides. On this one here where I brought my house over to the edge, I started my grass on the edge, and it's just hanging off on the right side. So that's how I'm going to do it again. And I want to make sure I cover some of the stump of my tree. And I think I'm just going to trim that just a tad. Hold on one sec. All right, and there we go. Now, I still need my little hearts, and I'm going to show you how I made those hearts. In the Be Mine framelit set, there is a die that looks like this. And when you cut it out, here it is in green, when you cut it out, you get this great embellishment. But you also get all these hearts that pop out. So I ran it through in real red, and then I poked out this mini heart and this larger heart. The larger heart is going to go in the middle of my house. And the little mini heart is going to go right here. So for that one, I'm going to put my glue on my grass because I think it might be easier. And then I'm going to drop my heart, oops, my heart right there. Probably could have used a smaller one. I think that one is the smaller size, but that's okay. Oops. Now all I have to do is stamp. And for this one here, I got the congratulations from the stamp set, Itty Bitty Greetings. And here it is right here. But you could use this, just this set, and this card would be happy anniversary. There's a heart, house with the heart. May God bless you and keep you. Of course, you can always do that. Hope you're feeling better. Here's the little sick house that the person is in. Hope you're feeling better. Congratulations, obviously. Enjoy your retirement. There's their little house. Hey, friend, checking in on you. For you, obviously, that would go for anything. I miss you, like I said, in the middle of this pandemic where we're all home. I miss you from my house to yours. A little hello, checking in on you. Happy day, you could use that. Happy birthday. Many thanks. You could use that so many different ways. But like I said, I'm going to make mine for a new home. And I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to ink up my congratulations. And I'm just going to drop that right here in the top corner. Just stand up so I can see it straight. Camera's in my way. I'm going to go straight down and straight up. And there we go. Now, obviously, the last thing we have to do is take that 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White, stamp the appropriate greeting or message, and put that on the inside. So there is the same card, just a little different version of it. If you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products I use, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And I might remind you that Stampin' Up! Is in the middle of its celebration, which is going through the month of January and February. And for every $50 you spend, you are able to pick out a free product from the celebration brochure. And during the month of January, I am also running a free promotion. For every $50 that you spend in my store, I will send you a card that's made using one of the products you purchased. So for instance, if you purchased this Be Mine die set, I would send you a card that I made using that. If you were to purchase the dynamic embossing folder, I would send you a card that uses that. If I don't have any of the products that you've ordered, I will still send you a card, but it will be using a comparable product, because although I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I don't have every single product that they sell. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and come back tomorrow and I'll have another project using the same stamp set and die. But that one is going to be love related. Not quite Valentine's Day, but love related. Thanks so much. Have a great day.